This is a quick video demonstration of how the core tools in Turnitin Feedback Studio can allow you to mark submissions through Moodle online. So to access Turnitin Feedback Studio, if you click on your submission link in the same way as you would do normally, go to view all submissions, and then you'll see the normal grading table that we're used to. You'll have a tab for the originality score from Turnitin. This is really high because it's a demonstration essay that's been used over and over again. But the tool that you need to access Feedback Studio is this little blue pencil. When you hover over it, it says grade mark. That's just the old name for it and it just hasn't been updated yet. But once you click onto the blue pencil for the particular submission that you want to mark, you'll see a new tab opens up with a sort of PDF almost version of the work the student submitted. And you'll see in the tab here, this is why we call it Feedback Studio. So just to sort of navigate around the Feedback Studio layout, on the right hand side, these vertical toolbars, anything in this red toolbar here is relating to the Turnitin originality score. So if you remember, we had a sort of 100% score on Turnitin when we saw it on the grading table, and this is all in relation to there. The marking tools within Feedback Studio are in this blue toolbar, and they're comprised of 3 different sections. Now for the core marking tools, we're just going to look at these first 2 here, which if you click onto them is quick marks, and the other one is feedback summary. So if we look at quick marks first, basically what quick marks are a set of either predefined comments. So if I've just clicked on academic integrity, for example, Turnitin provide a whole host of standard comments that you can use. You can drag them across or you can link to them. If you click on any of them, you'll see at the bottom of your panel here, it will show you what that particular quick mark is going to say. You can't edit the content of here, you can add your own comments to it, but if you use any of the predefined quick marks that are included within the system, then you can't change the actual content, you can just add to it. What you can do, as you saw here, is you can create your own set of quick marks, which means you can either bring in ones that exist in any of these other categories, so you don't have to keep going from category to category. You can take any that are appropriate, drop them into yours, and you can also then create your own quick marks if you want to. So this is one that I just did quickly earlier on, but I'll show you a little bit more about those in a second. So quick marks exist to hopefully allow you to sort of reuse existing comments and make things a little bit easier. As I mentioned, if you wanted to use the quick marks as they are, you can simply just drag them over and sit them next to the comment that you want to do. What we find is easier is if you highlight any part of the essay, you have this option, this little pop-up toolbar. Now, what's used quite commonly is the speech bubble, which is comment, because this allows you to put your own comments in like this, and you can make a hyperlink if you want to do some basic formatting. And when you click away, you can then just move this speech bubble and the line will show the student where that comment is in relation to. So this, again, if I just highlight another section, this is the speech bubble for just adding your own comments. If you want to add a quick mark, so one of these ones we've seen here, you use the little tick option, and that will show you all the categories that you can see on the right hand side in a sort of pop out. So if I wanted to use something out of the academic integrity category and say I wanted to use this one. Now the difference here than just dragging it over from the right that I did in the first place was this will now have a guiding line to where that's in relation to, whereas when I dragged it across from here, it basically just sits it above. So this gives you a little bit more, it provides more guidance as to which part of the essay or report the comment is in relation to. And finally, on the sort of quick marks, if I highlight something again, the speech bubble, if you were to put your own comment in here, just quickly, What you can do is, if you're going to use this comment over and over again, you can convert it to a quick mark. So if you find that you're typing the same one in as your sort of individualised comments, if you hit convert to quick mark, you can give it a title, because it needs to know what it's in relation to, and where you want to add it. So in this case, I would add that to my quick marks, and then it would appear over here to use once I've saved it. So if I save it, you can now see my clarification quick mark has been created based on one I've done myself originally. Now obviously you don't need to do that. Lots of people simply just use the annotation feature a bit like you would in Word, where you use the comment and you put your own feedback in here and then move away. You don't have to save anything, it auto saves as you go through. So the only one I didn't show when I highlighted, you've got a strike through option should you want to. If you don't highlight a piece of text and say you just click up here, you still get the quick marks and the speech bubble as you would do normally, but you get this additional one as a sort of floating text bar. So basically this will allow you the equivalent of sort of writing in the margins, if you like. Once you've made these comments, you can hover over them, change them, or you can move them and sort of put them, as I mentioned, in the as a equivalent of writing in the margin. So those are the core sort of annotation comments that you can do. As you can see, if you hover over any of them, you can delete them. The little delete option comes up, or you can edit them if you click onto them. So that's the core annotation comments. The other sort of feedback summary or overall comments is in this second icon here, and you'll see this is simply, as it says, a simple text box to put your overall comments in, and this will keep growing. You can put as much text in there as you like, and so again you don't have to save it, and that would be where your overall comments would sit for the entire piece of work. What you do have that's useful if you wanted to is you've got the option to use voice feedback. So if you wanted to give your overall comments as an audio file, you can just hit record and record up to 3 minutes long and then just save, and then the student can just click on it and listen to that feedback once it's released to them. So a useful feature if you want, and a really easy way to do audio feedback. If you're just going to use those two core tools, which many people do, your sort of final step would be to put your grade in up here. So I'm going to say that this one got 65. Important when you put a grade into the Feedback Studio, you see there's a sort of highlighted line still around the box. You need to click anywhere away from there just to store the grade. Now basically the one bit of Feedback Studio we haven't looked at is this final icon that's about rubrics and grading forms, which the next part of the video will cover. But as far as just annotations and overall comments, as I say, you've got these first two blue icons and the option to put your grade in the box at the top. Once you're finished, if that was the tools you're using, you close the tab and that will take you back to the Moodle grading form, and then if you refresh, you'll see that the grade that you gave in Turnitin has been brought across into Moodle. Now that's really important because obviously when you're linking your Moodle assignments to Unity, then the grade has to be in this box here for it to be able to send it. But providing you've put it in the Turnitin grading box, you only still ever have to put it in once and it will automatically come across here. I refreshed it just to make it come across a little bit quicker, but it will come across. So that covers the core parts of the annotations in Turnitin Feedback Studio. The next part of the video will look at the rubrics and the grading forms.